This review made possible by DJapan, the commission-free proxy and forwarding service. Check out the link in the description down below. Pokemon, Kaiju, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hey there, collectors. What is going on today? It is Steven here with another Pacific Rim Uprising review. We gotta separate these into chunks so this way you guys don't get bored. Of the Bandai high-grade HG Gipsy Avenger DX set metallic version. Wow, that is a mouthful. But anyway, I've got it right here for you. And this is going to be a model kit, not a straightforward action figure. With that in mind, this is going to cost you somewhere around $70 if you want to get this version, though there are plenty of others that just meet that Gipsy Avenger needs, whether it's going to be the normal set that's not going to be metallic or the DX set that's going to come with some extras. Well, what does this set have to offer, and is it any good? Let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. Before we get the review started, I just wanted to make mention that I did have a build video planned for this. However, the lovely blue screen of death took some of that data, and I had to do a computer reset. So here's just some raw footage of me putting this one together. It's not necessarily the best, but hey, it is what it is. So sadly, we're not going to get that video. But this review will cover the final build of Gipsy Avenger. So taking a quick look at Gipsy Avenger here, the completed version of it anyway, you're gonna see that this model does look great, and it really does capture Gipsy Avenger accurately. I have to say, proportion-wise and detail-wise, though I have a little bit of a critique for that, it looks nearly 100% accurate to what we saw on the big screen. Now, for the metallic version of this, I wouldn't necessarily say so much it's metallic as it is pearlescent. That's just my own personal opinion, but it does look great. It's nice and shiny. It does reflect light. We do have use of translucent parts, though I do think there could have been another area that could have used the translucent parts. But anyway, Gipsy looks great. The number one issue that I do have with this model kit, though, would be in the decal department, and you're going to see this throughout the figure here, okay? So when we take a look at Gipsy Avenger's head, we do see that the visor for the con pod is a reflective gold plastic, not necessarily translucent like the reactor core on the chest. Why they didn't do this, I don't know, but you know what? It's okay. It works well enough. But as we move on down, you're going to see one of the main issues I had with the decals. Either in some parts, the decal pretty much ripped off some of the release paper with it, meaning that it wasn't usable, or the decals did not simply stick to Gipsy to begin with. It didn't matter what happened, it just wouldn't stay on. And I even still have some of the decals peeling off, even after just a couple of minutes after applying. So for me, my Gipsy Avenger is simply not complete like it should be. So with that quality control issue in mind for about $70, I'm a little bit disappointed. But aside from that, the decals that are applied do blend in very well with this figure, and you almost can't tell that they're decals. I know I don't do the best job of applying them to my stuff, but you know what? That's just me. However, when it comes to the sculpted details and proportions, like I said again, Gipsy looks fantastic with a whole bunch of panel lines found on it, which you can absolutely fill in for yourself, or we do have a whole bunch of mechanical bits and bobs that really does make Gipsy look like it is a towering robot ready to kick some kaiju butt. So all in all, I do have to say that Gipsy Avenger does look nice, and when you put it together, it is very rewarding. However, they should have used a bit more translucent plastic for the con pod visor, and the decals were really disappointing. But at the end of the day, I do think Gipsy looks great. So I have a couple of issues with how it looks, mostly the decals, but that's okay, because this is the best articulated Gipsy figure, period. Yes, I'm including Gipsy Danger. What do we have here? Well, unfortunately, even though I just hyped it up, the neck isn't necessarily that great, because the way that it's plugged in is just a peg, and that peg fits into a kind of square hole in the head. Yeah. So we do get some ball jointed movement. We can move it up and down, kind of side from side. Pretty limited, but the bad stuff stops there. As you can clearly see, the arm movement is fantastic. We do have ball-jointed shoulders where they plug into the body, and then the shoulders themselves are on hinges. Now, as you can see here, pay attention to the right arm here. They move up just fine because this little flap does indeed move to accommodate for better range of movement. Oh, and by the way, we do have butterfly hinges at the shoulder. So yeah, great movement there. Of course, we're going to have the bicep swivel so you can spin the arm totally around if you want, and we do have double hinges at the elbow, which is great. We do have just a single ball joint for the wrist, but to be perfectly honest with you, with the range of movement that you get, that's okay. And did I happen to mention that wrist guard is actually on the forearm instead of the wrist, so that does increase the range of movement a bit more. Oh yeah, by the way, these little wings, they are on swivels so they can move around from side to side like that, and they don't stay in the way of the movement for the arms, so that's good. Now, we do have a ball-jointed ab crunch, so we can spin Gipsy around from side to side, get it to lean back and forward, and then we do have a ball-jointed waist joint. So you can basically get Gipsy to look in pretty much any direction, despite the fact that the neck joint is kind of limited. Now, we do have swivels at the hips, so this way you can move Gipsy's leg forward and back. We do have a swivel here where they plug into the thigh, and then we do also have hinges, so this way you can move the legs forward and out like that. We do have double hinge knees, as you can see there clearly, and then we do have ball jointed ankles to accommodate for ankle rocker movement and fantastic forward and back. So if you're looking to get yourself a really good Gipsy figure, whether it's going to be Gipsy Avenger, Gipsy Danger, and you want fantastic articulation, this is going to be the one to get. There is not a single other Gipsy figure or model kit on the market that is going to hold the poses that this one can, whether it's going to be the Robot Spirits or the Diamond Select Toys version, or even if you want to go towards NECA. No way they could have gotten this range of movement out of it and hold the pose just like this. Very, very good. Now it's time to go over the accessories here for the DX set, where Gipsy gets an alternate right hand, but unfortunately not an alternate left hand, chainsword, plasma caster, and gravity sling. So that's pretty neat there. Unfortunately, the weapons are only for one arm or the other, not both. Now for the DX set, we do get a support stand, which I'm going to show you how to use in a little bit. Not too happy with how that one turned out. And we get a little LED unit to stick in the torso for Gipsy Avenger, so this way the reactor core can light up. Alright, so first off, we're going to take a look at that gravity sling, and as you can see, the details in it are pretty sweet. We can see the inner workings of the right forearm of Gipsy Avenger, and it all leads up to that tip where it can start flinging some cars or concrete or whatever it wants to around. One of the issues that I do have with the gravity sling, though, it's very minor and something that I can take care of, is that the tip for the gravity sling likes to fall off even with the slightest bumpity bump movement. So that's kind of annoying. Pet peeve, but something that I can take care of. Now for the left arm, we do have the plasma caster, and it is nice and compact, like Gipsy Avenger is going to fire off some shots and double tap leatherback. Oh, that's danger. Anyway, the detailing on this one is just as nice as the right arm's gravity sling, even though we do have a more compact design here, and an effect part to really use that plasma caster would have been great to include here, but you can buy some of those on your own. Next up, we do have the chainsword, and like I said, I unfortunately broke the tip, but the detailing on it looks nice. It does look like it's all linked up together nice and tight, like Gipsy is going to slice through some kaiju, or just kind of fight Obsidian Fury, and that's the first time it's ever used and then never seen again. But anyway, the detailing is great as well. Now, unfortunately for this one, you are going to have to pop off the left hand for Gipsy Avenger and plug it into the wrist on the chainsword arm here. Now, like I made mention though, for the DX set, we do get a support stand for Gipsy Avenger, and all this does is it plugs into Gipsy Avenger's butt, easy peasy. Something to keep in mind, there is another piece of plastic that plugs into that butt part for Gipsy Avenger. I just kind of threw it out because it's not really needed. But anyway, with the support stand, you can absolutely change the angle, because the way that everything locks together, you have to disassemble that top part and then reassemble it before you can plug it into Gipsy Avenger. So in terms of angling for poses, it can be a little awkward, and though it does work, it's not going to be as useful as, say, a Tamashii Stage Act 4 support arm and system, but we do get a nice display base that does come with a Gipsy Avenger decal. Last but not least, we get a small LED unit that you can plug into Gipsy Avenger's chest, which you do by removing the entire back part of Gipsy Avenger, then putting the light in and reconnecting everything. It runs off of two LR41 batteries. They're going to be really small, and they can be a pain to find on the shelf in your local store. But anyway, once you do get them, there's a little slider switch on the back that turns the light on and off that you can only access by removing the back of Gipsy Avenger and putting it back together. Now, it is relatively bright, depending. Unfortunately for mine, I don't know if it's mine or if all units are faulty, but whenever I go to touch Gipsy Avenger with that light unit inside, the light tends to flicker. Admittedly, it's a cool effect, but I'm sure that there are going to be a couple of folks who want constant brightness, and this one just doesn't give it to me. I don't know if it's because maybe I don't have everything screwed in correctly or whatnot, but after taking the batteries out and putting them back in about a total of 3 times, I still get the same effect here. And here's how it looks when it's in the dark, if that does anything for you. So overall, I do think that this bundle here with Gipsy Avenger, it is very nice and absolutely worth the money. We get plenty of accessories, with the only critique here is no Obsidian Fury chainsaw arm. That would have been nice for a right arm part. But anyway, there are plenty of accessories here to really make it worth your buck. Now, here's a size comparison for you so you can see exactly how big Gipsy Avenger is here, and it is going to be smaller than the Robot Spirits, also released by the Collector's Division of Bandai. So as you can see here, it does fit in better with SH Monster Arts displays, so if that's what you're looking for here, you're definitely going to get it. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. To be perfectly honest with you, even though I did have a couple of drawbacks in terms of decals, which I can totally take over with a little bit of extra paint here and there, I think Gipsy Avenger not only looks great, but comes with a lot of accessories, is amazingly articulated, and the size fits in just perfectly with some of the other figures that I have. So overall, I do have to say, whether it's going to be the normal version, the normal DX version, or the metallic DX version, this Gipsy Avenger model kit is definitely worth the purchase. Now I'm even thinking about getting the Bracer Phoenix and Obsidian Fury ones, but we'll have to wait for that day to come. Overall, if you're looking to pick this one up, check out links in the description down below to get it today. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links, like the credits for this video, and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.